those high volume tasks in the business that take up a lot of time. Basically, no one wants to ask those questions, and actually, they can be pretty frustrating and found somewhere, but no one actually knows where those documents are, apart from very specific members of the team. HR is one of those departments. For example, they're always busy building employee handbooks, FAQs, onboarding checklists, and then when it comes to the start of hiring season, you're always asking them, where is it? What do we need to do? Where is this information? This is a perfect example of something which can be outsourced to an agent. So, an HR agent, which actually understands this information, is grounded in this knowledge, can respond with the information, most importantly, telling you where that information has actually come from. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and create this. One of the additional benefits of an agent is that it's more reliable than just asking a chat. So if one person asks about PCO policy in a chat, the second person also asks about PCO policy, it's very, very replicable. And as a result, the agent responds instantly, and it means that time is freed up whereby one person hasn't got to do all the responding on this specific task. So in this, we're going to actually start by creating this agent. And the first thing is by going into the Copilot chat interface, and we're going to click New Agent. This is going to load this screen. Now, there are two ways in this chat agent. You can either skip this, or you can build it through the prompt. In this first initial example, we're just going to prompt it, and then we're going to hit send. And this will take our instructions, which we've been very specific on, even in the prompt settings, whereby we've given it a persona, we've told it what information it has access to, and then also how to communicate and what it should and shouldn't do. We've also given some guardrails in terms of what it absolutely should not override. And as a result, the output is this template agent. So it's understood the instructions and output them from this initial prompt. And these are within Copilot, they are limited to 8,000 characters. So it's quite important to be quite specific over this. And it does take a bit of experience and practice to get this right, and a little bit of testing. Now, you also, the instructions at the top here, you have the ability to set which models it should use, whether it should be the quick response, the deeper thinking. For me, based on what this HR agent is doing, because it's going to be grounded in the knowledge that I have given it, I'm just going to hit quick response. Now, when I say grounded, what I mean is that we are actually going to go into our own documents, and we're going to upload the files that we want it to use, and only those files. And as you can see, it's got those 3 documents listed here. I've been very specific by telling it only use specified sources, so it's not going to search the internet for any other information. Then, in terms of capabilities, right now, I don't want it to create any other documents, so I'm going to toggle this off. However, in the future, we will come on to this, and neither do I want it to create any images. Now, all this information and these prompts are really useful because it allows the user to have a better user experience when they come to using this agent. Now, in terms of previews, what these prompts at the bottom allow you to do is just allow the user to hit these and then start the conversation in a more sort of user-friendly manner. Now, we're going to actually create this agent, and this agent, once it's created, will only be available to me. So it's only been grounded in 3 documents, which are the employee handbook, the HR FAQ, and the onboarding checklist. Now, a lot of the time, you don't want to create an agent just for yourself. Sometimes you want to create it for your team or for others in the organization. So you do have the ability to actually share it. So you can share it to specific users or to anyone in the organization. Obviously, it will depend on your use case, and it's definitely something you should do as part of the planning. Now, when we're building more complex agents, we will absolutely go into this to ensure that you have a framework, think through what you're building and how you're building, and more importantly, who you're building for. But right now, what we're going to do is actually go in and start testing this agent. So here you can see on the side, we've created one. I've created one previously, but here what we're going to start by understanding is how do we actually use this? So I'm going to start by asking about onboarding steps. and I will see a result grounded in the onboarding checklist, no doubt. And there we go. We can see it's got the information which is coming from the onboarding checklist and the employee handbook. It allows me to understand what to get set up. And again, it's just simplifying a process which we know is quite repetitive and can take a lot of time.